the game last week to finish up against Tampa Bay.
And Gary Kubiak has done a tremendous job of managing these quarterbacks, from Peyton Manning, Osweiler, Simeon, and now Paxton Lynch.
And Dan Quinn, his team coming out on Friday. They're going to stay out west. They have Seattle up next. But first, the defending Super Bowl champions to deal with. Now, the Broncos won the toss, deferred. Eric Weems, who was the last Falcon to have returned to kickoff for a touchdown, as Brandon McManus ready to kick it off. Week 5 underway. Broncos and Falcons, and this will sail into the end zone. Matt Ryan will lead the offense starting from the 25-yard line. We mentioned the over 500-yard passing performance, completing 72% of his passes and only 2 interceptions so far.
Yeah, Chris, and what a difference a year makes. Year 2 in Kyle Shanahan, his offensive coordinator system. Not only Matt Ryan, but this entire offense looking much more in sync, much more in rhythm. They've been extremely impressive thus far.
And the running game has been solid as well, with Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Freeman the carry on first down, gets a couple up around the 28-yard line.
Well, when you look at these teams, it's strength against strength, and we're talking about some of the strength of the league. You see the passer rating of Matt Ryan and the Denver Broncos. They play quarterbacks extremely tough. Yards per play, tops of the league, and then yards per completions, 20 explosive plays. Atlanta is explosive as anyone, and the Denver Broncos, they just don't give up explosive plays.
Julio Jones in motion on 2nd and 7. Ryan incomplete. Trying to go to Jones. Aqib Talib on the coverage.
Well, Aqib Talib, early in this season, playing as well as any corner that I've seen. And he was really looking forward to this matchup with Julio Jones. He matches Julio Jones extremely well in terms of size and speed, and a great play by Talib early in the game.
Broncos come in having scored over 40 points in back-to-back games, make that the Falcons, but the Broncos haven't allowed anybody to score more than 20. On 3rd and 7. Freeman is a receiver, top of your screen. Here comes a flag. One of the Broncos jumped as the pass is completed to Mohamed Sanu. Good enough for a first down.
You know, in conventional wisdom.
Offside. Defense number 56. Penalties decline. First down.
Conventional wisdom would say advantage Broncos with the crowd noise, but Matt Ryan anyhow goes with the hard count, draws Shane Ray off, and then completes the pass. So tremendous job of handling the noise early by Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense.
After a pickup of 10, Tevin Coleman checks in at running back. That's him moving to the slot to the right of Ryan. From the 30, Ryan with time and dumps it across the middle, and that's Coleman still going. Tevin Coleman run out of bounds inside the 20 of the Broncos. A catch and carry that sets up the Atlanta offense, 48 yards.
This is something we talked about it. Julio Jones, 12 catches last week, 300 yards. But Matt Ryan will spread the football, including to his running backs. This is something you don't see often. T.J. Ward and the Denver Broncos missing tackles in space. It's something they pride themselves on, but Coleman breaks the tackle for the big game.
All the way down to the 15-yard line as Freeman checks in. Plenty of time for Matt Ryan. It open inside the 10. Devontae Freeman gets down around the 1-yard line.
What a job of Atlanta coming out poised. Matt Ryan sitting back, finding the open receiver, and it's going to be Devontae Freeman, the running back, working against the inside backer. And then again, making good yardage in space.
Without a huddle to the line. Freeman has it, but he goes nowhere.
Chris, this is something where both offenses today, that wide zone type running scheme, Down near the goal line, that can struggle because it's side to side. It's not getting off the ball and powering at people. And so you often look for Kyle Shanahan to try to go to some kind of gadget play down here rather than hammering it straight ahead.
Falcons in the red zone. The best there is. They actually lost a yard on 2nd and goal. Freeman out as a receiver, top of your screen. On the rollout is Ryan. Heaves it and got rid of it. There wasn't much there. Von Miller put some pressure on Matt Ryan.
A really nice job in coverage. You see Talib and Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall sees the formation, sprint right option, a play that a lot of teams go to down here. He's all over it. Brings up a big 3rd down.
Wade Phillips coordinating this defense that has been dominant. 3rd and goal. Ryan. End zone. Caught, but he can't get in. Right at the goal line. What a tackle on Jacob Tamme. Todd Davis wouldn't let him get across the goal line.
Well, what a great job by Todd Davis. Matt Ryan's going to find Tamme, but then look at the struggle. He does not get it across the plane. Great job by Davis. Dan Quinn doesn't hesitate to send his guys out there. They're going for it on 4th down.
3 tight ends are in on 4th and goal for the Falcons. Freeman has it. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman following his block into the end zone.
I can't say enough about this drive. You're going up against the defending Super Bowl champs. Watch Patrick DeMarco right here, the fullback, clear the way. Good block on Dakota Watson. That gets enough space for Freeman. But Chris, that's a big time drive. You're coming to the defending Super Bowl champ who prides himself on defense, and you take the ball the long way all the way down the field and then punch it in on 4th down.
And going for it on 4th down. Matt Bryant to try the 33-yard extra point, and it's good. Falcons going for their 4th straight win against the unbeaten Broncos. And Devontae Freeman on Atlanta's opening drive gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
With John Lynch, Chris Myers, Matt Ryan 4 out of 6 on that drive, a 75-yard drive. Interesting that the Broncos at home deferred, challenging the top-scoring offense in the NFL, and the Falcons respond. No NFL kickoff this season has been returned for a touchdown, not yet. Late in week 5, on this one, no chance. 25-yard line for the rookie Paxton Lynch, who, when he got in last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he led them to 3 scoring drives, no turnovers, but the #1 pick out of Memphis, and the Broncos traded up 5 spots to get him. They're confident putting him in this position.
Well, they sure are. I mean, they love what Trevor Siemian's been doing, and they gave Trevor Siemian every chance to play. His shoulder just was not ready. But you can see, as I said in the open, the excitement, because this kid has given them a lot to be excited about.
C.J. Anderson and maybe a yard. Brooks Reed on the tackles. Donald Stevenson and Virgil Green tackling tight end, still inactive for the Broncos. They were hoping to have them back to help that running game get going. And the Falcons taking advantage of linebackers beat up, 4 of their top linebackers injured out of this game. Paul Warlow, Deion Jones on 2nd and 9. Anderson met hard, but just short of the 30-yard line. Anderson comes in, averaging 3.5 yards a carry. Ran the ball early well, but the last few not so much.
Well, you look at Keanu Neal. This is Dan Quinn from the Seattle Seahawks. He was a coordinator there. They went out, they tried to find their version of Cam Chancellor, and they found Keanu Neal. He's a rookie, their 1st-round pick. They love what he's doing, and I do as well, watching him.
And rookie Devontae Booker is in at running back. Lynch, his throw completed to Emmanuel Sanders.
Well, we're going to be saying this a lot. When you watch this young man throw the football, it's just pretty. You see Emmanuel Sanders doing a great job setting up the route, running to the corner, but just a beautifully thrown ball by Paxton Lynch. You see the height, but he's got all the arm strength you could ever ask for. But the thing I love, he throws a very catchable ball, and he's very good at having touch as well as the strong arm.
After a pickup of 14, the rookie Devontae Booker, the running back, looking for some room, gets up to around the 48-yard line. At 6'7", Paxton Lynch, he did say, John, it was invaluable getting in that game, getting that first throw in a regular season game last week.
Well, no doubt about it. He had some nerves. He went in on a 3rd down. Welcome to the NFL when Simeon was hurt. But the biggest thing, those reps and then the reps this week in practice. Gary Kubiak let him take most of the first-team reps, and he just hasn't had that thus far. That's what he needs is reps.
Trevor Simeon, they made a late decision Saturday to have him inactive. Austin Davis, the backup, by the way. And Paxton Lynch, incomplete. His fullback, Janovich, the target.
Well, Chris, you talk about challenges, and you think, it's about defensive linemen coming at you. It's about coverages, the speed of the game. And talking to Paxton Lynch, his biggest huddle right here in the huddle, because he never was in a huddle in high school and or at Memphis. They did not huddle. He played in a spread offense, so the huddle along with the verbiage, it's much more vast in the NFL, and that's been his biggest challenge.
We'll have to explore that more on 3rd and 7. In comes the pass rushing specialist, Dwight Freeney. Lynch a little high. Oh, that might have been almost intercepted around the 40. A little bit of an overthrow before Goodwin. C.J. Goodwin didn't come up with it, but there was pressure coming from the outside on Lynch.
And one of the things Simeon has been doing so well is he's been highly accurate. Now you bring in Paxton Lynch, a little nerves, and we saw the last 2 footballs a little errant in his delivery.
Eric Weems back. Terry McCauley is our referee today, pointing against the Broncos. That punt, 39 yards without a return. Now this may be an option if you want to tack it on.
During the kick, personal foul, grasping the face mask. Kicking team number 50. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down, timeout.
Zaire Anderson called for the infraction of the Broncos. The history-making combination of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones last week. What are they going to do today for an encore?
Sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Well, you take a look at that last punt, and there's Zaire Anderson on Austin Hooper, and you see it right there. He's got a hand of his face mask. The official's right on it.
Penalty moved him up to the 28-yard line on first down. Coleman gets across the 30 in that last series. Ryan completing passes to his running backs, Coleman and Freeman, and then setting up the touchdown. By the way, the Lions beat the Eagles, John, so only the Broncos and the Vikings are undefeated in the NFL at the moment.
Minnesota Vikings, oh my goodness, have they been impressive, losing Adrian Peterson, their starting quarterback, and still undefeated.
Second down, Tevin Coleman has room to get another first down, shoved back right at the marker.
Well, you see the Atlanta Falcons and Patrick DeMarco. He's the eyes for the fullback. There he opens up the hole. Tremendous job of reaching everybody else. You see Chester on Derek Wolfe and Tevin Coleman doing a nice job getting upfield. Falcons showing tremendous poise and execution against a great defense early on.
Pickup of 8. It is a first down just short of the 39-yard line. Coleman faked to him. Matt Ryan with time. And that's DeMarco, the fullback, who gets into Bronco territory with another first down.
Well, it's pretty clear that the matchup Matt Ryan has liked thus far is his running backs against the inside linebackers of the Denver Broncos. There's Todd Davis. DeMarco does a great job. It looks like run to Todd Davis, and then he leaks out. And Matt Ryan, it's an athletic catch by a fullback, but these running backs really hurting the Denver Broncos in the pass game.
Pickup of 13 at the 48-yard line of the Broncos. Coleman again, big hole straight up the middle. And gets down around the 33-yard line of Denver.
I love what Kyle Shanahan's doing, because you think about the strength of this Denver Broncos defense. To me, it's on the edges. It's their outside linebackers, their corners. So where can you hit them? You can hit them right up the gut. You run right at them. That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing it with great efficiency. Kyle Shanahan calling a great game thus far. He's had an outstanding year as an offensive coordinator. You talk about quarterbacks being hot. He's hot as a play caller right now.
After a 15-yard pickup. Matt Ryan, and almost intercepted. There's Aqib Talib, who had a couple last week, stepping in front of the receiver.
Aqib Talib, one of the highest football IQs I've ever seen. He really understands route concepts. He rarely misses a ball. That's one of the great things he has. They're tremendous hands. Played some receiver at the University of Kansas. He's got 9 defensive touchdowns in his career. This guy can catch the ball. Smart player, Aqib Talib.
Devontae Freeman comes in at 2nd and 10. He gets the carry. Him and Coleman have been impressive here as he gets down around the 31-yard line. You mentioned Kyle Shanahan at age 36. Gary Kubiak said he was around me when he was a kid, and then he was my receivers coach, a quarterback coach, an offensive coordinator. We know each other well.
Yeah. One thing about Kyle Shanahan, a lot of people I think thought he got in because his father was in the league. But look at the production. You can't argue with it. He's been a lot of different places, and he's had success everywhere.
And the Bronco fans know, son of Mike Shanahan. Coleman as a receiver, top of your screen on 3rd and 8. Matt Ryan has had time so far. Extra pressure picked up. And on the move, he completes to Julio Jones. The flag flies as Jones gets down to the 11 of Denver.
They're actually going to call offensive PI on Julio. We saw the separation. Here's Julio.
Offense number 11. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I think that's a good call by the officials. When you get extended as a wide receiver, it's okay to have contact, but when you get extended, the back judge, that's exactly what he's watching. The back judge was all over it, and a good call.
The push against Chris Harris, and it changes things dramatically because now Atlanta's backed up to the 41. And it's 3rd and 18. A timeout, Atlanta. Right now, you're looking at what would be a 59-yard field goal try if they go for that option. Remember, they went on 4th and short when they were down around the goal line. Dan Quinn, a defensive-minded coach, but he's got the hottest offense in the league right now through 4 weeks.
Well, this offense has been red hot. You see 479 yards per game, 38 points. Both lead the league. You see the dynamic duo right there leading their respective positions in the NFL. And then the running backs. They can run the football as well. And I think that's the X factor in this game. Not only they are a high-flying offense, as you see Julio Jones outgaining 23 teams last week on his own. But not only do they do that, they spread the ball, they run the ball. This is a complete offense.
I had a bedspread like that once. I guess you call it a comforter now. On 3rd and 18. It's a 4-man rush. Ryan middle of the field, and Freeman is open for a gainer inside the 30. Won't get the first down, but it sets up a better field goal try.
Really good job. I mean, against this defense, you don't want to try to force the ball. Instead, get some yards to help Matt Ryan out. But I think the big deal, look at the protection. They've been very solid in protection all day. That's a nice pocket. you dump it off to Freeman and make it easier for your kicker, Matt Bryant.
Matt Bryant, 8 of 8 in the field goal department. His long is 53. This will be from 46 in the altitude of Mile High. And that is right down the middle, and a 10-0 Atlanta Falcon lead. The Atlanta offense comes out swinging for head coach Dan Quinn.
On Fox is sponsored by the new Bacon King Sandwich. 6 strips of crispy bacon piled atop a half pound of 100% beef, only at Burger King. By the Lincoln Motor Company and the new 2016 Lincoln MKX. And by Citrix. Better meetings start with GoToMeeting.
Falcons ready to kick off here in Denver. They've had the ball for just over 8 minutes compared to just 2.5.
That makes you put gas for some oxygen, even when you're the home team. I mean, the Falcons, you could not be more impressed with the way they've kind of said, hey, we're here to play. We're not here just to get trounced by the defending champs, and they playing like it.
Matt Bosher bothered by the hamstring, who also does the punting, good enough to do the kickoffs that go today. So from the 25-yard line, Paxton Lynch goes back to work, trailing by 10. Greg Knapp, quarterback's coach, sends in the play to the rookie Paxton Lynch. Remember, the audio shuts off 15 seconds before the play clock. In his first NFL start, Lynch 1 out of 3 so far. Pressure coming, and he's going to go down. Fortunate to hang out of the football as Vic Beasley got in to sack him.
Well, you know, we talk about the vaunted pass rush for the Denver Broncos, but Vic Beasley, who's been struggling along with the Atlanta Falcons, the least sacks in the league coming in. He's got a rookie quarterback. He holds on to the ball, and Vic Beasley goes ahead and gets his 2nd sack of the season for the Atlanta Falcons.
And that's only the 5th sack for this Atlanta defense. C.J. Anderson trying to find something there, brought down short of the 24-yard line.
And so you look at Paxton Lynch, and we talk about all his talent, but there's a reason that Gary Kubiak went with Trevor Siemian. It was a comfort level. You could throw the entire scheme at him. And coming from the college game, particularly when you never huddled, you played in the spread, there's a lot of adjustments, and I think we're seeing some of that right now. The Atlanta Falcons, who have struggled on defense most of this year, are giving it to the Denver Broncos.
Extra pressure. Lynch, there's a flag down in the backfield as he runs. Gets up across the 35. Looks like it's good enough for a first down pending the flag.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That call on right guard, Michael Schofield.
Schofield working right up there, and you see the hands all over. I think that's Claiborne's face mask. And Paxton Lynch had scrambled for the first down, so a big penalty for Michael Schofield and the Denver Broncos, setting up an even longer 3rd down.
Now they need to get 21 yards, and scouts had him rated one of the most athletic quarterbacks coming out of college, the 6'7" Paxton Lynch. But what will Gary Kubiak get from his rookie now? Under the middle, that's Demarius Thomas for blockers, but it won't go very far. It will bring up 4th down. Let's get a game break and say hi for the first time to Carissa. Hey, Carissa.
Hi, Chris. You guys got a rookie quarterback in your game. We go to another rookie quarterback, Bengals Cowboys. Opening drive, Dak Prescott hands off to Ezekiel Elliott for this 13-yard score. First rushing touchdown allowed by the Bengals. Cowboys up 7-0. Chris, John, and Pam.
All right, thank you. And Elliott leading the league in rushing coming into week 5. Broncos facing the 4th down, punting to Weems from his 30 with a block. Picks up 7 before he's met hard and pushed back. The Falcons offense highly touted coming into this game, but so far the defense has held up rather well.
Every weekday, watch Shannon and I debate the day's hottest topics.
And I'll let Skip know exactly how wrong his picks were this week.
Like I let you know last week, undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
Falcons have the football just over 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter, and they have been dominant, John. They came in averaging 7.5 yards per play, offensively best in the league, and they've done better than that so far. Tevin Coleman breaks a tackle. Here comes a flag as he got up to the 43-yard line.
Holding, offense number 73. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ryan Schrader called for the penalty. That'll negate that game.
But again, even with the penalty, Chris, I think we're seeing Atlanta really controlling the line of scrimmage and then breaking a lot of tackles. This is the thing that's surprising me. Typically, you turn on the film and the Broncos tackle as well as any defense in this league. They're not tackling well, and you got to give some credit to the Falcons. They're breaking those tackles today.
But the penalty backs them up to their own 27 on first down and 20. 5 different receivers so far. Ryan has thrown the ball to. None has been Julio Jones. That's incomplete. He hesitated, and looked like the pocket was slowly giving way.
Talked about 5 different receivers targeted, none including Julio Jones, and I think that's really made them a lot better this year. And you talk about year 2, that was a point of emphasis. Let's not force feed Julio Jones. He's a great talent, a great receiver, and Matt Ryan was really proud of last week. 12 catches, 300 yards for Julio. He said, I didn't force one ball to him. I went where the progression told me to go.
They won earlier this year when Julio Jones just had 1 catch against New Orleans. Talib is on Julio Jones. 2nd and 20. Ryan spins out of the pocket. And he's going to go down inside the 15 of Atlanta. Shane Ray.
Just a tremendous job of coverage downfield. Giving Shane Ray, the outside linebacker, in for DeMarcus Ware. Part of being a pass rusher is just being relentless. Gets knocked to the ground twice. Literally crawls to the legs of Matt Ryan. Really nice effort by Shane Ray, the second-year player.
The 18th sack for the NFL's best in that department. The Broncos now put Ryan in a hole. Incomplete. It's 4th down.
It's obvious, but against a defense like this, the self-inflicted wounds just kill you. Instead of an 8-yard gain on first down, the penalty by Schrader takes them back. And not only was it a 3-and-out now, you also have the crowd now into the game, and it feels like some momentum for the Denver Broncos. We'll see if Paxton Lynch and the offense can capitalize.
Matt Bosher, we mentioned the hamstring that bothered him throughout the week. Jordan Norwood back to return, averaging more than 10 yards a return this season. Bosher gets it out of there and a good kick. Norwood back to the 26 of Denver with room. And they hang time, 4-8. He got up across the 40 where the Bronco offense and Paxton Lynch will take over. A little surprised with what we've seen so far, the 10-0 score?
Well, I don't think surprised. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons have been really good. Where I'm surprised defensively, they got all their linebackers hurt, but yet they're going up against a rookie quarterback, and they're giving them a lot of fits right now. The defense is playing well. I expected the offense for Atlanta, even against this defense, to be able to move the ball. Now we're going to see, can Paxton Lynch quiet down his nerves and go start completing some of these passes that he's been missing.
Best field position for the rookie quarterback so far today. John, as it's at the 43 of Denver. Extra pressure coming up the middle, but it's picked up. And Lynch on target at the 40. Emmanuel Sanders.
Well, first of all, it always starts with protection. Just a great job of protecting. But this is that arm talent I'm talking about. Just rare arm strength. That's a long throw coming on a line, and Emmanuel Sanders says, thank you very much, Paxton. I'll take that.
A gain of 17. Sanders the leading receiver on the team as C.J. Anderson gets inside the 35-yard line of Atlanta. And the opening quarter has come to a close. The red-hot Falcons have a 10-0 advantage over the reigning Super Bowl champs, but the Broncos are on the move after one. John Lynch, Pam Oliver, Chris Myers. Hope you're enjoying the NFL on Fox with Paxton Lynch at his first NFL start. Trailing 10-0 as the second quarter begins. But at the 34 of Atlanta. On a second down, they need to get to the 30. C.J. Anderson gets close. It'll bring it third and short. The Atlanta defense held up well. Kamal Ishmael, a safety, taking in the defensive signals today and trying to help out with the injuries.
Well, I think it's really smart. You see Ricardo Allen there, but you look at the linebackers, 4 of their top 5 out. Kamal Ishmael, Paxton Lynch isn't the only guy new to calling signals in a huddle. Ishmael, typically a safety, playing linebacker today. As a result, if I'm offense, Gary Kubiak, test him in the run game. The run fits are tough when you haven't played linebacker before.
C.J. Anderson, and all he needed was less than a yard. Grady Jarrett shoved him back. It's fourth down. And they're going to go for it, just like Atlanta. Of course, when Atlanta went for it, they were at the goal line and produced a touchdown.
Great job of penetrating by Grady Jarrett, getting in that backfield.
Gary Kubiak knows he's facing a high-scoring Atlanta team and want to give him the ball back. C.J. Anderson, the running back. Of course, they could just try and draw him offside. We have a timeout. Atlanta calls time. I don't know if they had enough defensive players out on the field.
They did have 10 guys, and when you look at, remember, all the linebackers hurt. Philip Wheeler, one of the linebackers, wasn't on the field.
You talked about a rookie calling plays and understanding the verbiage, John. It's so different. I don't know if many of us realize calling a play in college, how it sounds like and compared to the NFL.
Well, he never went to a huddle, but then look at this. There's a signature play at Memphis, 120 East. Now you get to the NFL. Here he goes in the huddle, far west right slot, A right, 322 scat, Y stick slop.
Slop is part slant and what?
Slant option.
Oh, okay. All right. So that.
But I mean, that's a mouthful. It's hard for me to say it, and I'm reading it. Paxton Lynch, he's been practicing in front of the mirror because he doesn't get the reps. So he said, "Look, the hardest part for me right now is the huddle. Once I get through there, I feel good."
Whatever he calls out, yeah, he said he was reading it off to himself at home. He only needs a yard. The fullback, Janovich, gets the first down for the Broncos. Whatever he called there, it came out right for the Broncos.
Well, I'd call this slop. When you give the ball to a fullback, that's slop. And Andy Janovich, although he showed us that he can run the ball opening week, going for a long touchdown against the Carolina Panthers, but that's just straight. That's like his Memphis play. He just got in there and said, slop. Come on, Janovich. And a good job by Gary Kubiak and the Denver Broncos converting on that fourth down.
6th round draft pick, the rookie from Nebraska. The fullback now, Devontae Booker is in. And Lynch on the rollout, getting pressure. He slips out of a tackle and then goes out of bounds. Brooks Reed playing like his hair's on fire.
He is, but this, again, great play by Reed, but look at the athleticism of Paxton Lynch escaping Brooks Reed. Good coverage downfield. What happened? Emmanuel Sanders slipped, but at the end of that play, Paxton Lynch evades Brooks Reed and turns a sack into some positive yardage, and that's the athleticism this kid has.
2nd down 7. Got 3 out of all that. Already in field goal range. Lynch throws and incomplete. Here comes the flag. And it's on Robert Alford with Demaryius Thomas. Alford has seen his share of flags over the last couple of years.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Automatic first down.
Robert Alford is a very talented corner working against Demaryius Thomas. he has a bad habit of always wanting to grab. He doesn't trust his own speed, and I don't know why for the life of me, because he can fly. But this has been a problem for him. You see 30 penalties since 2013. It's been a problem. They've tried to address it. He just hasn't fixed it. Other than that, he's a really good corner in this league.
First down from the 18. Lynch has time, high, and incomplete. He's trying to go to Booker in the middle of the field.
It's a dangerous throw. High across the middle in this league usually turns in interceptions because it's tips and overthrows.
Is this nerves because he's throwing high, or is 6'7" height?
His feet aren't set, and when your feet aren't set, the rest of it doesn't work. And I think even when you're 6'7", that's more of a problem. You've got more margin for error. So Paxton, when I talk to him in preseason, it's always about the feet for him, getting his feet set. When you do that, everything else follows.
Dwight Freeney in. Booker gets the handoff. And Kamal Ishmael came up playing like a linebacker from that safety spot, or something like that.
Well, I don't know what he's playing, linebacker, safety, but that's a heck of a tackle. And you're going to see him flashing your screen. And there he is playing linebacker and looking like a linebacker, flowing, finding the ball, and then attacking. Great job by Ishmael, getting in their backfield, taking the fight to them.
So it's 3rd down and 9 for Paxton Lynch. He has time, and in the end zone, an overthrow. Emmanuel Sanders was back there. It was another high throw, and it's 4th down.
Remember, for Paxton Lynch, one of the things he said, he's been throwing a lot more to the 2nd and 3rd receivers. He hasn't had a lot of reps with Emmanuel Sanders, and you see him off his back foot, his feet not set. Got to start getting into a rhythm, getting those feet set to connect on those type of passes.
Brandon McManus to try a 35-yard field goal. He's got a rookie long snapper in Casey Kreider, high school science teacher, and then Riley Dixon, the holder. The punter is also a rookie, but no problem for McManus to get the Broncos on the board. Paxton Lynch moves the Broncos in striking distance, but Atlanta keeps him out of the end zone.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order. By Lowe's. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer.
Back in Denver here, that's how Pam Oliver got to the game. John, you said the traffic tough sometimes, and way to arrive in style.
Absolutely.
Did they have coach on that flight? All right, so Paxton Lynch gets the Broncos on the board. Just over 11 and a half to go before the half. And from the 5-yard line, Eric Weems off the McManus kick is tripped up. So again, short of the 25, you figure a win for the Broncos special teams, as they make Weems return it and gain a net of 4. Julio Jones did have a catch, but remember, it was called off because of a penalty.
But that's all right with the Atlanta Falcons, and I think one of the great reasons for their success, they've got a superstar in the biggest form in Julio Jones. But Chris, we sat down with him yesterday. He's one of the most humble players in this league. All he wants to do is win. 2 weeks ago, 1 catch against New Orleans, but they won. They put up 45 points. He said, that's the point, right? We're supposed to score and win.
On first down, Matt Ryan. Deep for Julio Jones, who just couldn't get it on the fingertips. Well, Julio Jones said, I don't need to be in the game for us to be aggressive on offense. He was on that play, and they just missed.
Julio Jones, any way you can get him deep, they do, and he can flat out go. Matt Ryan just outthrows him a little bit, a game of inches, and the Denver Bronco fans exhale after the incomplete long foul ball.
Wade Phillips jokes, and I would triple cover that guy every down if I could.
Said I only have 11 though.
On 2nd and 10. Ryan wants the football. Protected in the pocket and knocked away incomplete. Chris Harris keeping Aldrick Robinson from the football.
You see pressure coming from everywhere. Matt Ryan throwing a timing route, getting knocked down, and Chris Harris nearly picks that off. And we talked about it in that last series. You could hear the stadium start to get into it. The momentum has shifted, and Atlanta's got to be able to weather this storm.
Ryan now 6 out of 13, just under 100 yards. 3rd and 10. For Julio Jones, and he overthrew it. Open for a moment there. Ryan said we won't have to force feed, but he was trying to get enough for the first down.
And he had separation. Julio Jones was open. The second near miss in the drive, and that's something we haven't seen from these guys. But the pass rush of the Denver Broncos, it affects quarterbacks, even the best like Matt Ryan.
Quick 3 and out. Bosher standing at the 6 of Atlanta. Norwood backing up. Fair catch called for right at the 20-yard line of Denver. John mentioned the momentum shift. Ryan feeling it from the Bronco defense. Julio Jones still without a catch. Broncos are smiling. They have the football trailing only by 7.
Well, I alluded to it before the break. Here's the route. This is something you have not seen from the Falcons. Julio Jones gets separation on Chris Harris, and for the second time in the drive, an overthrow. We haven't seen that. I mean, you're talking Matt Ryan throwing at 72%. Now he's 6 for 14, under 50%. The pressure's starting to affect him.
Paxton Lynch hesitates. Here comes a flag, and there's also a flag up around the 30 towards the secondary.
Looks like Tyson Jackson got a hold of Paxton Lynch's face mask when he attempted to sack him.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 23. That penalty declined. Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense number 94. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Tyson Jackson got his money's worth. And he darn near pulled the head off Paxton Lynch. But again, we're seeing Atlanta Falcons defense, who hasn't generated much pressure, getting to Paxton Lynch in this game.
Lynch, who said he never had a quarterback coach until he got into the NFL. I found that interesting. And he's had help in shaping, he said, shaping my throws and getting more touch on the football.
Now you come to Denver, you got quarterback coaches everywhere. Kubiak was a quarterback. Greg Knapp, you got John Elway in the building. And you got a lot of them.
The penalty puts the ball at the 35-yard line with Devontae Booker in the backfield. He's got the football. And, you know, they've run the ball, John, now 11 times. They're averaging less than 3 yards a carry early in this game against this beat-up Atlanta defense.
It's something Kubiak was really emphatic about in our production meetings. We got to get our run game going. We had it going early in the season. The first 2 games, you see 282 yards. The last 2 games, 141. Now, in those games, they played Geno Atkins of Cincinnati and Gerald McCoy that can wreak havoc on a run game. But Kubiak said that's not an excuse. He did tell us, look for Devontae Booker. He felt like he had fresh legs and maybe could inject some energy into the run game.
And Booker does there, gets up near the 44-yard line, about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Again, it's worth pointing out that Donald Stevenson, the right tackle, and Virgil Green, tight end, both with calf injuries. They're close to returning, but there was hope that they would this week. They have a Thursday night game that could help the running game.
You know, one thing that Gary Kubiak will always do, and I played for Mike Shanahan here, sometimes with this scheme, early in the game, they're 4-yard runs, but later in the game, they develop into the big runs, and Gary Kubiak will not deviate from that.
They only need 1 yard to get the first down, across the 45. And Anderson doesn't get there. Dwight Freeney, the first one to get there.
Well, Freeney down right here, coming off the edge. They are trying to freeze Freeney with Emmanuel Sanders on that jet sweep, and Freeney, a 15-year vet, says, I'm not going for that. So they try to bluff him with a little reverse action from Emmanuel Sanders. Freeney sees right through it, goes and makes the tackle.
15-year veteran known for sacking the quarterback has created quite a spark for this Atlanta defense. On 4th and short, the punt. Weems, fair catch inside the Atlanta 10-yard line. It's turned into a bit of a defensive struggle. But the Falcons and Matt Ryan have a 7-point lead.
Game is sponsored by Walmart. Save money. Live better.
There's Marquand Manuel, the secondary coach, with Robert Alford. I think Alford a little upset about that penalty, doing a great job of settling him down on the sideline.
That punt was 48 yards without a return. Ryan from the 8-yard line. Tevin Coleman, the running back. And Ryan hands it off to him on first down. He gets up to the 10-yard line. This Denver defense, even against a hot quarterback like Ryan, who's over his last 5, by the way, in the last 2 drives. Look what they've done, John. And since we're out here in Mile High Country, I know you like the music behind this, but in the last 6 games, an impressive lineup of quarterbacks, but the defense, look what they've done to them.
These are big-time quarterbacks, and they're just taking them all down. Those numbers are not good, and that's what pressure can do to a quarterback. And Wade Phillips dialing up the pressures, and it's starting to mount on Matt Ryan. You can feel it.
2nd and 7, Coleman. And Tevin Coleman with a solid run to get up across the 25-yard line. And a first down for Atlanta. Digs him out of a hole.
And there was a lot of talk if Tevin Coleman was even going to play today, because he has this sickle cell trait that can sometimes be a struggle in the Mile High. But whatever he has, it's working for him. Tevin Coleman outrunning Darian Stewart to the perimeter and getting big yards.
4 rushes, 30 yards. Freeman carries here and tackled, or he would have gotten across the 30-yard line by Brandon Marshall, who leads the Broncos in tackles. Let's get more on Tevin Coleman with Pam.
Yeah, but the Falcons were completely comfortable with Coleman playing in this game, and so was he. Coleman told me he, just as a precaution, he got an IV before the game. He must stay hydrated and keep his doctors informed on if he's feeling unwell.
Freeman up across the 35-yard line. It'll bring a 3rd and short. Thanks, Pam.
And Dan Quinn kind of communicated to us that there was some confusion. People thought he had sickle cell anemia, which can often be a struggle, and you just don't want to play with it. He has the trait. He talked with the doctors. He was fine to play. He was cleared, and he's playing well.
On first down, Devontae Freeman. Short of the 45. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Menefee. Hey, Kurt.
Hello there, Chris. Dak Prescott says hello to the end zone. Little 5-yard touchdown run. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. That's the most ever by a Cowboy rookie quarterback. Dallas up 14-0 on the Bengals in the 2nd quarter. Chris, John, and Pam.
Thanks, Kurt. Another rookie quarterback.
You talk about poise. That young man, we had him early in the year, and that's what he has.
Freeman near another first down. He did get the first down, moving the chains and chewing up the clock here.
You see Devontae Freeman in this spin move. Maybe he's been talking to his teammate Dwight Freeney. He pioneered the spin move on the defensive side. Devontae Freeman said, I can do it too.
Freeman carries again and run for more than 65 yards already in this game against the Denver defense.
And Atlanta not going really at a fast pace, but not huddling on this drive. And it's something in year 2 they're doing more under Kyle Shanahan. Kyle knows that Matt Ryan's very comfortable in a no huddle, and so play to your players' strengths. That's exactly what he's doing.
Into a crowd. This time Freeman gets stopped. Von Miller keeping his eyes wide open.
Sometimes, you know, a little no huddle, a little change in tempo. Kyle Shanahan, great respect that he has for Wade Phillips. He talked about no one makes better adjustments in a game than Wade Phillips. And so Kyle talked about trying to keep him off balance, which was a big challenge. He's doing a good job of it.
Six defensive backs in for the Broncos on 3rd and 5. Ryan floats one, and there's a flag. He was trying to get to Freeman. It looked like he was held.
Holding, defense number 52. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We saw early in the game, Matt Ryan looking at those running backs. These running backs are like receivers. They run really good routes, and Corey Nelson on Devontae Freeman, and he certainly does tug at his hip. A good call by the officials.
At the 45-yard line, a first down, the benefit of that penalty.
There it is, right here at the bottom of the screen. He reaches back and grabs him as the ball's in the air. Denver, you heard him talking about uncatchable, but he clearly grabbed and didn't restrict it him.
Freeman slips through and gets near another first down, close to the inside the 36-yard line of Denver.
Talked earlier, if there's a soft spot in my mind, it's right down at the heart of this defense. You get in the heavy personnel, 3 running backs, and you go right at them. Alex Mack doing a tremendous job in the middle of that pit for the Atlanta Falcons.
3 tight ends, the fullback fake 2, and Ryan has to get rid of it. Incomplete. Yeah, they used the 3 tight ends to follow the target against the Oakland Raiders in their pass rush earlier in the year, and it was effective.
They used it with great success, and oftentimes what they'll do, Chris, run, and then take a shot up top with the 1 receiver that's in there.
Jacob Tambry, the second leading receiver on the team behind Julio Jones. 7 different receivers targeted. They only need a yard here on third down from the 36 of Denver. And Coleman will be stopped short on the 11th play of this drive unless they spot it.
We talk so much about Von Miller as a pass rusher, but watch what he does to the run game. Now, that's just pure strength. Pushing Toilolo and then almost tackling Coleman through Toilolo. Von Miller wrecks game plans in run and pass.
Each team has gone for it already on fourth down.
Dan Quinn waiting to call timeout, trying to get some clock to run.
Looks like we may have a challenge on the spot. Maybe that's what
he was waiting for, waiting to see a replay of the spot. He thought he had the first down.
Atlanta is challenged, but they made the line to game. Timeout.
So spotted short of the first down, challenged by the Falcons. The ruling was not a first down and challenged.
And check this out, elbow down.
After review, the runner's right elbow is down with the ball short of the line of game. It will be fourth down for Atlanta. Atlanta is charged with their third and final timeout.
Well, you know, Dan Quinn challenged it, but that challenge didn't work because it looked on first look like it was a first down. But that elbow, great job by our crew.
And they're going on 4th and inches. Successful the last time around the goal line when Freeman got into the end zone. Coleman is the back here. Matt Ryan keeps and lunges forward.
And Chris, they went out this offseason and got Alex Mack. Not a sexy signing at center, but this guy has made a difference. In my mind, he's really made this entire offense. And where did they go on fourth down? Both times right behind Alex Mack. Right there, Matt Ryan just gets behind his center, and Mack gets enough surge for him to get the first down.
And it is the NFL's lightest offensive line. Mack just over 310. They average 305 pounds a lineman. They come in with 3 tight ends, and Coleman splits out as a receiver, bottom of your screen, on first down from the 35 of Denver. Open is Austin Hooper. Run out of bounds by Aqib Talib.
Austin Hooper's a guy who kind of sneaks in there on these 3 tight end packages. His average per catch this year has been 28 yards on 5 catches. Wide open again. That's what he's been all year. Deceptively fast, and the Falcons moving quick.
3rd round rookie from Stanford. Atlanta without a huddle after a pickup of 14. The 3 tight ends bunched in the middle where you can see to the right of Matt Ryan. And Ryan got rid of it. Knocked down after throwing the pass incomplete.
Matt Ryan wanted Julio Jones right here, but Chris Harris, just a great job playing that inside leverage and getting inside, and then Matt Ryan really threw that ball away. That's where he wanted to go, but Matt Ryan talked about it a lot. I'm not going to force feed it to Julio. That's gotten me in trouble in the past, and he won't go there. He didn't.
They'll have the 2-minute warning, but Atlanta's out of timeouts on 2nd and 10 from the 20. Lengthy drive. This will be the 15th play. Devontae Freeman cannot get outside. Shane Ray got to him, and he was spun down as we near the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go before the half. Matt Ryan had 500 yards last week. He's got 120 through the air, but the Falcons lead by 7. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. The 3 tight ends, Atlanta going with that, and the Broncos, John, have 6 defensive backs on 3rd and 9. Matt Ryan complete around the 15. Coleman knocked down. It'll be short of the first down. Bradley Roby running with him, and the Broncos use a timeout.
Chris, you take a look at Von Miller, and just a sack artist. And right here, again, doesn't get to Matt Ryan, but look at the disruption in his face. That wears on an offensive line. He's got 4.5 sacks in the 4th quarter. He wears on people. He wears them out. He finds their weakness, and then he finishes it late in games. Von Miller, beautiful thing to watch this guy play the game.
Lining up for a field goal. We'll check out Matt Bryant's attempt in just a moment here. Julio Jones has been targeted today, but no catches so far after 12 for 300 yards receiving last week. Field goal try. Bryant good earlier from 46. This is 33. Trying to go 10 for 10 this season. And Atlanta expands its lead 13-3. Pam Oliver on the field. We have John Lynch, Chris Myers up in the booth, and the guys getting ready for the Visa halftime. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up on the Visa halftime show, one less undefeated team as Carson Wentz and the Eagles go down for the first time, and Tom Brady returns big time against the Cleveland Browns. Plus, the Cowboys host the Bengals. It's all coming up as this TV joins me and everybody else for the Visa halftime show.
25 million, baby.
That's all you need?
That's it.
Matt Ryan again producing points. 7-minute drive. You know, John, I think we thought the Broncos, you expected them to play great defense, but looking at the numbers, the Atlanta defense has risen to the occasion, even if it is a rookie quarterback in his first start.
Well, it's a defense that's been struggling all year. Last week versus Carolina, they were clearly better, and it started up front. But, Chris, I can't say enough about the defensive effort for the Falcons. Remember, 4 of their top 5 linebackers out, so they're stopgap. They got safeties playing linebackers, but they've been really, really good at keeping the Broncos offense in check.
Sean Weatherspoon out for the year. They hope Devondre Campbell and Deion Jones will be healthy enough next Sunday when the Falcons play in Seattle. Broncos with 2 timeouts and 1:48 to play. And Latimer's bringing it out of the end zone. And excellent special teams as Eric Weems, who's a returner on the other side, makes the tackle. Tomorrow, it's NLDS Game 3. The Cubs taking on the Giants. Chicago with a 2-0 lead. And the pitching matchup outstanding. Arietta against Bumgarner. MLB postseason continues tomorrow on FS1. Dan Quinn actually got to meet Coach Madden, the manager, I should say, Joe Madden of the Chicago Cubs. Raheem Morris, a friend of his, linked the two and talked about philosophy and working with young players and building team chemistry. It's worked for Joe Madden. And Quinn right now trying to win his 4th straight game. Pass is Emmanuel Sanders out of bounds, so incomplete.
What a break on the ball by Trufant. Looks like this is going to be a catch, but Trufant continues to play. Sanders does not have control as he's going out of bounds. Good call by the officials.
Second down 10. Lynch backed up at his own 16. Pressure coming. Ball's out, and he got it back. Vic Beasley already has a sack today. Knocked that one loose.
I tell you, they are really missing Donald Stevenson at the right tackle. Sombrilo, a good player, but he's injured. He is not healthy. He's coming off his shoulder surgery. The right elbow, he has no strength in his upper body. So Vic Beasley, a guy who's been struggling to get to the quarterback, now has 2 sacks today working against Sombrilo. And I just think Sombrilo is not healthy enough to be playing quite yet, but he's forced into playing with Donald Stevenson hurt.
Thin on the offensive line. Sat out for 8 or 9 months just doing nothing and trying to work back into football shape. So it's C.J. Anderson. Just to give the rookie punter some room. Broncos will want to let that clock run because Atlanta does not have any timeouts, and they're going to have to punt the ball back to the Falcon offense, who came in averaging 38 points a game.
Hindsight always 20/20, and I see exactly what Dan Quinn was thinking on that fourth down or third down when he thought he had the line to gain. He challenged it, and that ate up that last timeout when it was an unsuccessful challenge.
Riley Dixon, 7th round pick from Syracuse, standing at the 2-yard line of Denver. And Weems back inside the 30 of Atlanta. And a timeout. Broncos take it.
You take a look at Julio Jones, the NFL's leading receiver, 300 yards last week in one game against the Carolina Panthers. But I got to tell you, there's the offensive pass interference when he had his only catch that was negated by the penalty. But Aqib Talib, Chris Harris have really done a nice job, and they've been aided by the pressure that has made Matt Ryan miss him on a couple of throws that they had. And there you see, after receivers have 300 yards, there's not many of them, but they typically don't come back for whatever reason to have prolific games.
Defenses don't want to be embarrassed or shamed. He had 488 receiving yards in the first 4 games, none for Julio Jones today.
Their hamstrings might be tired from running so much after a 300-yard reception game.
Riley Dixon booms it out of there. Fair catch. Weems waves everybody away, and it gets inside the 20-yard line, and that will bring an end to the half. Broncos will get the ball, or at least Atlanta will be kicking off to the Broncos to start the second half. But the Falcons on the road have the lead here in Denver. Let's go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement is brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Freeman has it. Touchdown, Atlanta. And that's today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan, the only touchdown of this game. Not sure we expected a defensive struggle as Paxton Lynch, 3 of 8, 45 yards in his first NFL start, and the Broncos, Atlanta kicking off to Denver to start the second half.
Yeah, and I think what Denver needs to do, you got to find a way to get Paxton Lynch in some rhythm. And the young quarterback's best friend, a running game. Get the running game going, and then I think some quick throws. Everything's been downfield. I never thought I'd say this, but they're struggling to protect against the Atlanta Falcons, who've struggled so mightily getting to the quarterback. And so I think some quick throws to get the young man feeling confident would help him out and the offense out.
And you see the rush yards. The Broncos wanted to run the ball better, was a goal. They haven't accomplished that. As Bosher kicks off to start the second half, Cody Latimer out of his own end zone and brought down short of the 20-yard line. Let's head down to the field and Pam Oliver. We had a production issue on the microphone. We'll clear that up and get back to Pam in just a moment. Dan Quinn, who last year, remember his team in his first year in Atlanta, they started out 5-0, wound up 8-8. He talked about what this team learned from that experience as they try to go to 4-1 this season. Lynch open from the 42. It's Emmanuel Sanders running around and brought down at the 45.
Well, you see Gary Kubiak trying to get him in rhythm, the play action pass, and watch the linebackers get sucked up, and then he's going to throw right behind those linebackers, up and over Wheeler right to Sanders. And a good start for Paxton Lynch and the Broncos in the second half.
All the way up to the 45, a gain of 26, and a dangerous throw that was almost intercepted. Desmond Trufant, there is a flag down. Trufant got to the football.
Pass interference. Offense number 10. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That call on Emmanuel Sanders. Let's go back down to Pam.
Well, you guys were talking about the run game. So was Gary Kubiak. I asked him, how do you get that going? He says maybe we need to up the tempo, but we really need that run game. As for Paxton Lynch, it's a combination of things. He says path protection. He's got to get the ball out faster. Atlanta's Dan Quinn, we talked to him about just the offensive game plan, how aggressive it is, and they're taking it to an aggressive defense. And he said that's our identity too.
All right, thank you, Pam. Another completion, but a minimal gain here. After the penalty backed up Denver on 1st and 20. Boy, there's a lot on that sheet.
There's a lot on that sheet, and Gary Kubiak right now is looking for something that will work on that big sheet. Dan Quinn and his group, Richard Smith, the defensive coordinator, doing a tremendous job bottling up this Denver Bronco offense.
2nd and 16, Paxton Lynch rifles a throw, incomplete. John Phillips, the target, and now it's going to be 3rd and long.
Well, Dan Quinn talked a lot about this offseason and what they went through as a team, and it was about a connection as a team. They brought in some special forces. They feel like they're a much closer team, like they're a player-led team. And he talked about this week, it's all about focus. And he said, John, we were focused all week. We were dialed into our game plan. And I got to tell you, it's showing on the field.
They've sacked the quarterback twice. Quinn said, as long as we affect the quarterback, we're doing our job on defense. Underneath, thrown down right away is Benny Fowler. And that brings up 4th down.
I'll tell you, they're careful not to compare Keanu Neal to Cam Chancellor because they want him to be able to develop his own identity. He did visit with Cam Chancellor, and I tell you, the young man plays a lot like him, because one thing I see when he hits them, they go backwards just like they do with Cam Chancellor.
You'll have a chance, John, to say hi to each other again in person when Atlanta plays in Seattle next Sunday. This punt taking Weems as he lets it go into the end zone. He was back inside the 10, and so the offense will start from the 20-yard line. Atlanta has the lead in the football.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to no fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Terrific weather weekend here in Denver, and Raheem Morris with Julio Jones on the Atlanta sideline.
And really interesting connection. Raheem Morris was a DB coach, head coach at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He coached Aqib Talib early in his career. So a big connection in this game.
Quick pass is caught. That's Julio Jones' first catch of the game as he goes down around the 30.
And look, that's not force-fed, but that's a clear attempt. Let's get Julio involved in this game, because Atlanta knows they aren't going to hold on and win this game 13-3. They're going to have to score more points, and I love it. Come back safe but aggressive, and also getting your star player involved in the game.
Just short, you can see, of the first down. Talib is lined up against Julio Jones. Freeman the carry and gets the first down up near the 35-yard line. So Talib doesn't move around. He likes staying on that left corner spot.
Well, this team is loaded at cornerback. So you got Talib on one side. You have Chris Harris in the slot. In their nickel, they bring Bradley Roby. And so Wade Phillips said, we don't need to travel. We just really feel like we can all stay on the same side. And they feel like that's better for them.
Freeman. And Shane Ray ran him out of bounds.
Well, remember, DeMarcus Ware, we haven't even talked about the fact that he's out. But look at Shane Ray up top. It's just a great job. We talk about setting the edge. He makes Devontae Freeman bubble and then goes ahead and finishes the play. Outstanding effort by the second-year man from Missouri.
And a former first-round selection. Tevin Coleman comes in, had a busy first half. He's the game's leading rusher. Matt Ryan in trouble here and gets up to the 37. It'll be third down.
You know, Matt Ryan, sometimes we think of this tall, kind of lumbering athlete. He's improved his athleticism the longer he's been in this league. And right there, it's invaluable because instead of being a sack, he actually turns it into a 1-2 yard gain. Really good job of Matt Ryan eluding the pressure of the Denver Broncos.
There's a helmet problem with Chris Harris, the starting corner. Otherwise, he'd be out there on 3rd and 8. Need to get to the 45 for a first down. He's going down. Von Miller sacking Matt Ryan.
We talked about it. Von kind of probes at these tackles. He wears them out. He hits them with power early, and then here comes the moves. Fakes the power. He puts his best Dwight Freeney impression spinning on the way to the quarterback and Matt Ryan. And this guy, Chris, some player, the best defensive player in football, in my opinion.
The Super Bowl MVP, and he can dance. Matt Bosher from the 20 of Atlanta. Flag flies, ball rolls, and all the way down to the 1 yard line where it is tagged down, but let's check on the flag.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 37, half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
Wow, half the distance to the 1 yard line is trouble, but the Denver defense rising to the occasion. Some of the stories from Week 5 around the NFL, the Vikings behind Sam Bradford and that stifling defense go to 5-0, the only other unbeaten team, because Carson Wentz, the rookie quarterback, and the Eagles fell to the Detroit Lions. And Tom Brady back for the Patriots and continuing to roll that Hall of Fame career. Paxton Lynch beginning a career in Denver, his first start, and after a 68-yard punt and then a penalty, they're at their own 1 yard line, trailing by 10. Paxton Lynch at his own end zone, and that's intercepted. He hung it up in the air. Ricardo Allen came over and picked it off.
Gary Kubiak trying to instill some confidence and trying to inject some energy into this offense. Takes a shot, but Paxton Lynch doesn't do a good job with his eyes of controlling this guy. And Ricardo Allen, all he's going to do is range over here for the interception. You see Ricardo Allen, that's just tremendous range by Ricardo Allen going and getting that pick. Little bit of pressure. Ricardo Allen reading the rookie quarterback like a book and going and getting that ball.
Grady Jarrett putting the heat on, and first of this year, 5th interception for the Atlanta defense. And Wade Phillips said this is the kind of game where a turnover or whoever has the ball last can win it. And this could be a major moment for Atlanta, trying to add to a 10-point lead. Matt Ryan. Julio Jones with Talib covering, and Julio Jones gets down around the 22-yard line.
Julio Jones, Chris. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. And I'm just astounded. Again, you see the protection. Astounded by his acceleration, because look right here, it looks like a catch, but then Talib's going to be right there. But instead, he separates from Talib and turns it into huge yards. Watch the acceleration right there. That guy's an incredible player.
And you just had pointed out Raheem Morris talking with him on that other sideline. I'm sure they talked about Talib when they matched up. A gain of 20 on that play. Coleman now in at the running back spot. Ryan to throw and completes to Aldrick Robinson. Here comes a flag.
Pass interference, offense number 80. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Levine Toilolo, the tight end, called for the offensive pass interference.
Watch Toilolo going to come into the screen right there, and they call him for clearing out the linebacker, making the room for Aldrick Robinson.
Spotted back at the 32-yard line. Again, penalties affecting the Falcons on drives when they've been close to adding to their lead. First and 20.
Hey, Lion!
Von Miller not in the game at the moment. They run the ball down to the 31. It's Tevin Coleman, and small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Von Miller came in leading the NFL in sacks, has one today, 6.5. And of course, this team leading the league in that department.
Well, we see him on the sidelines, and people think probably what's wrong, but Wade Phillips does a great job of keeping Von fresh throughout the game. They rotate at that outside linebacker position. You see the play selection very balanced for the Atlanta Falcons, almost 50-50.
Complete Matt Ryan, Tevin Coleman in for a Falcon touchdown.
Well, Chris, from the first drive, that's been the matchup they've been looking for. Their running backs in the passing game against the Denver Bronco linebackers, and there's Brandon Marshall responsible for Tevin Coleman. And it's just a straight seam route. He just outruns them, and Matt Ryan throws a dime to Tevin Coleman for the touchdown. Nothing real tricky about that. Just straight up the field. Brandon Marshall sits, Coleman right behind him, and Matt Ryan delivers.
Bryant on for the extra point, and the Falcons with a 20-3 lead. Matt Ryan came in, tied for the league lead with 11 touchdown passes. He delivers his 12th. Coleman on the receiving end.
Game is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network.
John Lynch, Chris Myers, and Matt Ryan with the touchdown pass. And Atlanta with a surprising 20-3 lead. Bosher kicking off. Remember the outstanding punt and then the turnover and then the touchdown. Producing points. Out to the 25 comes the Denver offense. Screening saves lives, and the NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more about a Crucial Catch Day, October 25th. Find out how you can help make a crucial catch at NFL.com/pink.
Great job by the NFL supporting that effort. And Chris, we were talking during the break. I mean, you kind of start to think this is the Falcons' day when Bosher, to set that up, he shanks a punt and it goes 68 yards and pins him on the 1-yard line.
And then the interception, and then the strike for Matt Ryan. So Paxton Lynch having to make up ground, and the ball's out. He gets knocked down, and that's ruled a fumble. The Broncos have it. Looks like Devontae Booker got on it at the 15-yard line.
Well, Vic Beasley, people in Atlanta had thought he was a first-round bust, and he is busting out against Tyson Brilo and the Denver Broncos. Sombrilo cannot block him. There's the matchup. Again, he keeps swatting those hands down, and Paxton Lynch is going to have to figure out that the ball is everything in this league. 2 hands on the ball, you got to get rid of it faster.
And just in case you're wondering, Trevor Siemian inactive today. Austin Davis the backup, and Lynch is going to have to run. It's up to the 20-yard line.
If I'm Gary Kubiak, I mean, you can't do it here on 3rd down, but you've got an athletic quarterback. Quick throws, and I would move the pocket a little because the stationary pocket is not working. They can't block the Atlanta Falcons, and I never thought I would say that because the Falcons have been searching for a pass rush for a long, long time. Last couple of years, started to come alive against the Carolina Panthers last week, and they brought it today.
Siemian, it was a decision all the way up until Saturday. Gary Kubiak hoping that Trevor Siemian, his starter, he's still the starter. He's injured for this game, and they have a short week playing Thursday night. Paxton Lynch tipped in the air, but caught. Staying with the football, Demaryius Thomas.
Well, Paxton Lynch starting to do a better job of stepping up in the pocket. Keanu Neal reading his eyes, but Demaryius Thomas, great job of concentration. Brings up 4th down.
They are just short of the 1st down. It's 4th and inches.
Kubiak sends in his offense. This point, down 20-3. He's believing in his offense to be able to get this 1st down.
Lynch keeps and gets the 1st down.
When you're 6'7", just fall forward and stretch the ball out. An aggressive, gutsy call by Gary Kubiak. Paradis and Schofield do a nice job along with Sombrilo of creating some surge on that right side.
He's the 23rd player named Lynch to play in the NFL. Of course, John Lynch, you're hearing. Dick Lynch, member of the Giants, had 37 interceptions. Marshawn Lynch. C.J. Anderson carries here, and the running game has not helped out Paxton Lynch much today.
Running game hasn't been good, and that's of concern, I think, for the Denver Broncos because you're playing against a group, I keep going back to it, but they're playing with a guy at linebacker calling the signals who's a safety, Ishmael. They're playing with a backup who's usually an outside backer in the middle, and you can't run the football. There's a problem there.
Leroy Reynolds, who made his 5th NFL start. A.J. Hawk they signed this week. Time and delivered. The ball came out incomplete. The ruling at the 45. Thomas couldn't hold it. There's a flag down and a good hit by Wheeler.
We're going to get Ty Sombrilo for a hold.
Holding, offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And Chris, remember, coming into this game, Atlanta had the least sacks in the NFL. And it's primarily happened, and I hate to pick on Ty Sombrilo, but you got to call a spade a spade. It's been Vic Beasley. Now it's Adrian Claiborne. You got to give Sombrilo some help or get him out of there. Again, I think it's a health issue. I don't think he's healthy enough to be playing. At least not strong enough, and he's struggling mightily.
Dan Quinn and his staff identifying the area to attack on this team. The numbers against this Atlanta defense, as good as the offensive numbers were for the Falcons, it was the opposite for the defense. But they've held up well today.
It's not like they're blitzing either. These are 4-man pressures.
Paxton Lynch has time. They try to set it up to Booker. And he puts a nice move on and gets thrown down at the 35-yard line. Let's get a quick game break and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, here's a nice move by Ezekiel Elliott. League's leading rusher, the rookie out of Ohio State, takes this one 60 yards. Cowboys cruising against the Bengals 28-0 in the 3rd. And by the way, John, Howie was just talking about the right tackle struggles there in Denver, just as you mentioned it.
Well, Howie, great minds think alike. How about them Cowboys, Jimmy?
Saw the rookie running back in the update from Kurt, Devontae Booker, the rookie from Utah, 4th rounder in the backfield is Lynch. On 3rd and 12, he's scrambling around, and he'll go down around the 35-yard line. There just was nowhere for him to run.
I got to tell you, you look at Vic Beasley right here now in the middle. He spies, and he's just watching Paxton Lynch, waiting for him to run. Keeps him in front of him. That's why Paxton Lynch running all over. Dan Quinn And Richard Smith, the defensive coordinator, changing up 4-man pressure. Now let's rush 3 with a spy. Vic Beasley really coming of age for the Atlanta Falcons today.
Riley Dixon, the rookie, on to punt once again. He's been busy. Eric Weems, fair catch at the 20-yard line. Falcons on offense with a 23 advantage. The Atlanta defense has made it difficult on Paxton Lynch during his first NFL start. Vic Beasley checking out the Microsoft Surface and likes what he sees.
Well, he should because he's wearing this offensive line, and in particular Tyson Brilo out.
See how the Denver defense responds as Devontae Freeman gets up to the 25-yard line.
And Chris, you just said it. Look, I played on a great defense in Tampa. And when there's moments like this, if you are great and you want to be known as the best, you don't just make them punt. You take the ball away. You score. And this team right now sorely needs a play from this defense.
They have yet to come up with a takeaway today, the Denver defense. On 2nd and 5. Freeman. And they're bringing up 3rd down and 5. Todd Davis coming in to make the tackle. We haven't called Derek Wolf's name today. He came in with 4 sacks right behind Von Miller in that area.
I think with Kyle Shanahan, we talked to him. I talked to him last night, and he talked about keeping this defense off balance. And they're putting enough run out there that it's putting a chill on this vaunted pass rush of the Denver Broncos.
A chance for that Bronco defense on 3rd down. Time for Matt Ryan. Sanu held on and made the catch. Mohamed Sanu all the way up across the 45-yard line.
So you got a great pass rusher like Von Miller. How do you block him? Well, you ask your little receiver to help out. That's exactly what he does. That gives Matt Ryan enough time. And Matt Ryan now, the accuracy starting to come into play. And Matt Ryan getting hotter as this game goes on.
He's over 200 yards passing today. A gain of 22 on that flip. From the 47, Freeman, and good defense there. T.J. Ward, as Wade Phillips said, he's kind of the leader of the defense. He plays like wildfire, and teammates follow him. 2nd and 9. Coleman is in now. Coleman carries. Here comes a flag as he gets to the 45 of Denver.
Holding. Offense number 51. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Alex Mack, the Pro Bowl center, the acquisition from Cleveland. He's going to be working against, I believe that's Kilgo. And right there as he starts to escape, gets extended. The official season, but Chris, despite the penalty, they're winning the line of scrimmage. Denver usually dominates the line of scrimmage. Atlanta is beating them, pushing them off the line of scrimmage.
3rd quarter winding down. On 2nd now and 19. Back inside their own 37, 38-yard line. Ryan's throw knocked out, incomplete. Jones had it, but what a hit. Darian Stewart knocked that ball out.
When you watch this defense, there's so many stars. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. You talk about T.J. Ward, but don't sleep on Darian Stewart. This is a physical football player. Legal hit, goes to Julio Jones' hip and knocks the football out. Great play by Stewart.
Ryan came up big the last time on 3rd and long. Now they have 6 defensive backs in as the 3rd quarter winds down. Middle of the field. Catch made. Mohamed Sanu brought down. The ball came out. The ball came out as he hit the ground. And T.J. Ward has it.
It was that play we were talking about, Chris. You need something to happen. You want to call yourself the best, you better be the best, and you better take it away. It's exactly what T.J. Ward does.
All turnovers are reviewed and confirmed, and this one was. What a takeaway.
What a play. I mean, you talk about taking it away. That's exactly what he did. He hit him, jarred it loose, and then grabbed it away. Phenomenal play by T.J. Ward.
You wanted the big defensive play. They're celebrating. They made a switch and juggled the offensive line a little bit. On 1st and 10, Lynch completes. Met hard as Demaryius Thomas.
They've moved Michael Schofield, who was playing right guard, out to right tackle, and they've brought in Darian Weems now at the right guard position. So Sombrilo clearly wasn't effective, and now they've made that move to try to get some pass protection.
Interesting. 5 wide receivers come in for Paxton Lynch, and he gets it to one of them. Did he hang on? Let's see if Benny Fowler held it. And it is a catch.
And remember, along with the 5 wides, the tempo. We take a look at Benny Fowler. Looks like a catch to me.
Remember, Benny Fowler caught the last Peyton Manning pass in the NFL. It was a 2-point conversion of the Super Bowl. He hung on to that one.
But Gary Kubiak talked about maybe upping the tempo to help the young quarterback, going with a little quicker tempo now.
And time for Lynch. Slips a tackle, dives to get inside the 44-yard line. Let's get another game break with Kurt Benefield.
And this one's for Bronco fans keeping an eye on the rest of the West as San Diego visits Oakland. Derek Carr hooking up with Amari Cooper, 64 yards on the score. That's Cooper's first touchdown of the season, believe it or not. It's a 1-point game in the 3rd quarter. Chris, John, and Pam.
Thanks, Kurt. Sombrilo looking on. C.J. Anderson the back. He gets the football. That's his best run of the day. It's a first down for the Broncos. Inside the 23 of Atlanta.
Take a look. A little space for C.J. Anderson. Weems actually makes the key block. They just brought him in. That gives C.J. Anderson some space. But you know who you credit for that? T.J. Ward. It injected life into this team, into this stadium. T.J. Ward getting him the ball back. We'll see if the Broncos can capitalize.
After a gain of 10, looks like somebody moved.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Second call on Schofield today. Again at that right tackle spot. Started at right guard. It'll back up the Broncos to the 28-yard line of Atlanta. Broncos have the best 4th quarter point differential in the NFL, plus 39, and they're going to need it if they're to rally here. Beasley is in on Paxton Lynch.
Well, Vic Beasley just wearing whoever they put in at right tackle. A little stutter, and he's just beating him with speed rushes. Vic Beasley gets there. At least going to get half a sack. If they give him a full, that's his 4th sack of the day.
Atlanta putting that pressure on.
This is a guy who had 5 sacks in his career prior to today's game, in Vic Beasley. And many people, like I said earlier, were concerned that he was going to be a bust. Brian Cox, the D-line coach, doing a great job developing the young man.
Pass is caught by C.J. Anderson. After that sack, a loss of 7. 4 sacks for Vic Beasley. Wonder if he got tired of hearing about Von Miller and Wolf and all those guys over on the Broncos sideline.
Well, I think they do. I mean, you hear so much about the other defense, and you see Paxton Lynch been under duress all day long, and this is not where you want your rookie quarterback to live in these 3rd and 15s.
Beasley inside on this play. Lynch dumps the pass and it's dropped. Anderson couldn't hold it. Now that changes if you were going to go on 4th down or not.
Exactly. I think if they get close there, Kubiak now has a decision to go for it. Now it's no decision, and you got to try to kick the field goal.
Brandon McManus will try and get the team within 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. 46-yard field goal attempt. He's 1 for 1 today. And McManus delivers. After the turnover, they cut into the Falcon lead. Tomorrow morning, don't miss Skip and Shannon. They break down all the weekend NFL action. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Weekdays 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. You can see it on FS1.
Shannon Sharp, the former Bronco in the Hall of Fame. Dan Quinn fired up along with Brian Cox on that defense, and what a job. I mean, I think it's got to be noted. This was a group that was one of the worst in football coming into this game. Richard Smith, you could see it start to turn around versus Carolina, and they brought it today.
McManus's kick after the field goal. Out to the 25-yard line. Falcons working their way from Denver up to Seattle next Sunday, protecting a 20-6 lead.
On Fox is sponsored by Nissan, innovation that excites, and by T-Mobile, bringing you greater coverage of today's game.
Nearby Loveland, the ski area. It's almost ski season.
Yeah, I think that's called a Manning Terrier, Chris. I'm
Very good.
Trying to get you ready for the Westminster Dog Show on Fox.
That's right. Coming up after the Super Bowl on Fox. From the 25-yard line, Matt Ryan, arrogant out, and open. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman already a touchdown catch today. And a big gainer there.
Well, when something's working, keep going back to it. And all day long, it's been the running backs of the Atlanta Falcons on the linebackers of the Denver Broncos in the pass game. And Tevin Coleman is wearing those guys out. Todd Davis nor Brandon Marshall can hang with him. Tevin Coleman having a huge day.
49 yards on that play. And you worry about Julio Jones and Jacob Tamme, who's the second leading receiver. Now you got to worry about running backs catching the football out of the backfield. They have all afternoon. Freeman carries here. And Freeman with another first down.
Kyle Shanahan, he kind of painted the scenario when I talked to him. He said, listen, going up against one of the best in Wade Phillips. He makes great adjustments. I got to try to keep him and them off balance. Kyle Shanahan has succeeded in a big way, along with Matt Ryan, his quarterback, who's having a lights-out season thus far.
And now he mixes it up with the 3 tight ends in. Freeman, the running back, from the 15.
Panther! Panther! Oh, Panther!
Freeman waited for a block and picked up 3 or 4 yards. Matt Ryan, by the way, his 44th straight game of 200 yards passing or more. In fact, the last defense to stop him was Dan Quinn in Seattle when he was the defensive coordinator. You see those. Drew Brees has the weekend off for the Saints. And the best part about that, as Matt Ryan will tell you, along with Julio Jones, is the Falcons are winning during this stretch.
I love the start of that series by Kyle Shanahan. It would have been real easy just to hand the ball off, try to milk the clock. Instead, he's going after it.
Freeman. Another chunk of yardage. The Falcons as a team are over 100 yards rushing today.
And I've been talking about it. And sometimes it was on plays where there were penalties that went backwards, but they are clearly winning the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line is driving that of the Denver Broncos off the ball. And that's easy pickings for Devontae Freeman running the football.
And Dan Quinn set up his quarterback. Matt is on a mission. Through the offseason, through the start of this season, they lost the opener, trying to win their 4th straight. Facing a 3rd and 2. Going to the ground, the catch made by Mohamed Sanu, but not in the end zone.
What a catch it was. I mean, look at that. One hand, then the concentration. Going to be interesting. Ball hits the ground. I don't think he had control when it hit the ground, and there was some movement. So on the field, called a catch. But watch right here, the tip of the ball.
There's a challenge flag, John, coming from Kubiak. The fans saw it here, and they let out a roar.
See it right here.
Denver is challenged that the pass was incomplete.
Now ruling on the field, a catch challenged by the Broncos. Sanu ruled a catch on the field, challenged.
After review, the ball hit the ground prior to the receiver gaining possession. It's an incomplete pass. Please set the game clock to 8 minutes, 24 seconds. It will be 4th and 2 on the 7-yard line for Atlanta.
That is a
Denver is not charged with a timeout.
A big turn, reversal, because otherwise it's a first down.
Well, somewhat surprising because the trend has been, unless completely obvious, they've been sticking with it. But I did think prior that if you don't have control and the ground hits the ball and it moves at all, that's not a catch. And so I think a good call by McCauley when it's all said and done. Different from the trend, though.
Usually they stay with what's called on the field. The field goal try from 25 yards. A little bit of an adventure here, but it's good. And a 23-6 advantage for Matt Ryan of the Falcons here in Denver.
It is sponsored by the new Bacon King sandwich. 6 strips of crispy bacon piled atop a half pound of 100% beef. Only at Burger King.
They gave a half a sack to Dwight Freeney, so Vic Beasley 3.5 sacks officially today.
And look, they came in with 4 sacks as a team, as a defense all year long. And so Vic Beasley and this group have been making Paxton Lynch's debut as a starter miserable.
4 sacks for Atlanta. The Broncos just have 2 sacks of Matt Ryan, and Latimer brings the ball out of the end zone and is stopped short of the 23-yard line. People affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. If you want to help those impacted by Hurricane Matthew, text Matthew, M-A-T-H-E-W, to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Tevin Coleman, 132 yards receiving. Last 100-yard receiving game by an Atlanta running back. It was Warrick Dunn in 2003. Atlanta settles for a field goal, but has a 23-6 lead. Airing it out, incomplete. Thomas the target. Robert Alford running with him.
Demaryius Thomas, such a great player. But you want to win this game, you got to make plays like this. It's a good throw from the rookie. I think he struggles to locate it, but that ball is certainly catchable right through the hands of Demaryius Thomas.
Paxton Lynch, 11 out of 20, 122 yards. He did suffer the interception. Had a touchdown pass last week in relief in Tampa that went to Emmanuel Sanders. Jordan Norwood hauling that in. Just over 8 minutes to play.
The Seattle Seahawks, not a lot of guessing to what they're doing. They're simply getting back in their patented cover 3 zone, which means 3 deep, 2 corners deep, a safety deep, 4 underneath zone droppers, and just eyes on the quarterback and react to the throw.
You mentioned the Falcons, the Seahawks defensive concept coming from Dan Quinn.
It looks so much like the Seahawks.
And Atlanta will play them next Sunday. As Lynch is going to run and slide. And we heard a pop at the end of that, but no flag.
I'll tell you, that was Falcon on Falcon right there, and that was Keanu Neal trying to put a lick on Paxton Lynch, and he ends up hitting his own
It sounded maybe worse than it was.
Vic Beasley, I promise you, is going to be going, Keanu, open your eyes. I'm on your team.
7 minutes to go, and on 4th and 1, the Broncos have no choice but to go for it. Hand off, Booker. And I don't think he got it. Philip Wheeler making a big play for Atlanta.
They're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, that looked close.
The Falcons making everything. Great job by Booker reaching that ball out at the end, but the Falcons making everything tough for the Denver Broncos in this offense.
Just did get the first down. Booker stays in. Paxton Lynch has to get rid of it, and it's almost intercepted.
Now this offensive line for the Denver Broncos has been awful today. Paxton Lynch hasn't been much better, but the protection, again, this is a team that came in with 4 sacks, the Atlanta Falcons, but yet the Falcons have been all over Paxton Lynch. And just watch it. Here it's Adrian Claiborne just making Max Garcia the left guard whip. So the offensive line for the Denver Broncos playing a poor game.
Kamal Ishmael almost had an interception there. Booker the carry, and he's met hard but keeps going up near a first down. He fumbled on his very first NFL carry, the 4th-round rookie, and Gary Kubiak said we're going to work with him a lot to make sure he's comfortable, but we like his moves and we want him to be out there.
I think a lot of people are wondering, why would you run the ball at this point? It's because they can't block the Atlanta Falcons when they go back to pass.
He picked up 8, so it's 3rd and 2. Open. Thomas steps out of bounds, gets the first down.
Now look, Paxton Lynch hasn't looked great today, but here's why people are so excited. You just watch the way he throws a ball like this, and it's special. This is called driving the ball. And that ball is on a rope, and it's accurately thrown. I mean, that's a big-time throw, and that's why everybody from John Elway to Gary Kubiak, everybody in town here is really excited about Paxton Lynch moving forward.
Sanders and Thomas each with 4 catches today. Underneath in the middle of the field, inside the 40 is Devontae Booker. And, you know, for a 6'7" quarterback, he doesn't have that lengthy delivery where he opens up the arms a lot. It's more tight with Paxton Lynch.
And it's funny, you mentioned he never had a quarterback coach, and so he said he used to listen to broadcasters say it's bad when it was long, so I just started throwing it quick.
Compact from the middle, floating it, incomplete. A couple of receivers in the area, including Benny Fowler. Let's get a game break. Check in again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, San Diego's Phillip Rivers has been picked off twice in Oakland, but he's also thrown 3 touchdowns. That one to Hunter Henry helps the Chargers to a 24-19 lead in the 3rd quarter. Here's Johnny Pan.
Well, Kurt, living in San Diego, I can tell you the first 3 quarters have not been the Chargers' problem. It's that 4th quarter, and particularly those last couple minutes.
It's almost a mistake if the Chargers have a lead in the late moments. Anderson carries, and some tough hits, but running hard to get inside the 35 of Atlanta, and it's a first down.
But you know what? I get the feeling that Dan Quinn, Richard Smith, they're perfectly fine with this because you know what's happened? The clock is ticking. This is a 3-score game. They're keeping the ball in front, and even right here, that's a good gain. Nice run by C.J. Anderson, but the clock is just continuing to run all the way down to 4:25.
Middle of the field open again, slipping the tackle. Jordan Norwood getting down to the 17 of Atlanta.
You'd like to see the Broncos moving with a little more urgency. The offensive lineman walking up to the football. And time is definitely a factor.
Under 4 minutes to play, all 3 timeouts, but trailing 23-6. Tries that low. Catch made, yes, he stayed in bounds. Good work by Emmanuel Sanders over there.
Great concentration by Sanders. Bringing that football in. Toughest catch in football are those low balls because your eyes typically don't go down all the way to the ball, but Sanders, a veteran player, and that's just a really special catch.
Middle of the field, fighting for more C.J. Anderson, and that's a first down. inside the 12, close to the 11-yard line of Atlanta.
The important thing is that you get it in, but you got to hurry. Again, they're just moving kind of at a snail's pace, and they don't have that time.
It's like we have an injured player on the Falcons. That's Brian Poole. Just over 3.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Paxton Lynch approaching 180 yards through the air. First and goal, Broncos. Lynch is going to go down. Another sack for the Falcons. Freeney and Claiborne combining on this one.
Look, I got on the offensive line, but this is not the offensive line. This is holding the football. Paxton Lynch will learn in this league. 1, you go to 2, you go to 3, they aren't there, throw it out of bounds and live to see another down. Taking that sack right now with this time is just really penal to him, and Brian Cox and his guys playing great today.
Second and goal. Dumps it off. C.J. Anderson thrown down. An aggressive tackle inside the 5.
Atlanta, like I said, they're fine with that. Clock's moving. Now Broncos burn another timeout.
I don't know if you've seen Lethal Weapon yet, John, but you have to definitely check it out. In fact, everybody watch it. Damon Wayans, Clay Crawford, perfect together. It's nonstop fun for an entire hour. And you catch the all-new episode of Lethal Weapon Wednesday on Fox. Well, that's a bit of a shock here, the way the Atlanta defense is playing. I mean, the Denver defense has done their best keeping the Falcons from running up the big numbers, but the Atlanta defense has been off the charts good today.
They've been great, and as I was watching the film last week, it looked like a different defense when they faced the Carolina Panthers. They affected the quarterback, didn't necessarily sack him a lot, but they were around him, and they've brought it today, and they finished the deal.
And maybe one of the reasons, some numbers here, they're giving up the room, as you said, for Denver to chew up the clock, even though they're moving the ball. And on third and goal, Broncos trying to get in the end zone, and there is the pass. Reaching Demaryius Thomas for the touchdown.
Standing effort. You're going to see him reach across right there. Gets across the plane. That's a big-time effort by Demaryius Thomas. Not so easy to do when you got 300-pounders all over you.
He doesn't make that reach. That ball doesn't get into the end zone. Atlanta been that tough. Thomas's third touchdown catch of the season, and the first one he's received from Paxton Lynch, who has now 2 in his brief career. 5 catches today. It's a 10-point game with just over 2.5 to play.
So now you've got to think that Atlanta, yes, they do. They have their hands team down on the field, meaning that they're expecting an onside kick. Onside kicks have gotten a lot tougher to execute in today's football because they don't let you truly overload a side. And because that's a player safety deal, and they used to be tough, now they're a lot tougher.
Well, some kickers, you talk to them, John, some of them like to try to bounce it, right? Some like kicking it off a guy who's standing up close who maybe they don't think has the best hands, even though you just said the hands team is up there. So some kickers kick it rolls along, and they try to grab it once it goes 10
right
yards.
Up the middle, yeah. I would say he has some good hands. He's a good guy to have out there.
And a big frame. Arthur Blank excited that the Falcons, if they hang on, would win their 4th straight, go to 4-1. Of course, the Panthers play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night without Cam Newton in the NFC South. We mentioned the Saints are off.
Mr. Blank also excited about the new stadium that's nearing completion down there in Atlanta.
Future Super Bowl site. Let's see how the onside kick goes. There's a flag down right away. It was touched by a Falcon, and the Broncos have it.
You got to think offsides, though. where that flag was thrown on the Broncos. They got past the line before McManus hit it.
Offside, kicking team number 57. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Corey Nelson came up with it, but the flag came out right away.
And they called on Dakota Watson right there.
Wow, that's close.
It really is close. Great kick. Great kick by McManus. And those are so tough to execute. And that was very close. Surprised they called that.
Joe DeCamillis and Dakota Watson have been playing, in fact, coming off his best game as a Bronco on special teams.
Oh, he's one of their stalwarts on special teams. Very good special team player.
But a tough penalty because the Broncos did get possession of the football. So they'll wind it up 5 yards back and try it again. Now do you go to the other side of the field?
Onside.
Same area, grabbed right away. Austin Hooper got his hands on it and fell on the football. The developing story was Paxton Lynch, the first rounder in his first NFL start, and Atlanta made it tough on him.
And his offensive line did not play well. He didn't make it any easier on himself, though. One thing Paxton Lynch will learn, you have to throw the ball quickly, on time, in rhythm, or you will be beat up in this league. And the Atlanta Falcons, only 4 sacks coming in today. We're happy to be the guys that beat him up. You see 5 sacks, 7 hurries, 4 knockdowns. Tough day in his debut, but that young man, I could say with confidence, going to have a very bright future in this league.
Freeman carries. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a quick game break as we get a timeout here. Kurt?
All right, we'll see what folks back in John's hometown of San Diego will have to say after this. Michael Crabtree, nice grab, 27-24. Oakland with the lead over the Chargers in that vaunted fourth quarter. Chris?
All right, thanks, Kurt. That's just what John was saying, that lead. The problem hasn't been the first 3.5 quarters for San Diego.
That poor team, they just continue to lose people to injury. Last week it was Verrett, the great corner, torn ACL. He's out for the year.
And John, Thursday night in San Diego, the Chargers will host the Broncos, and you wonder if Paxton Lynch will start. Will Trevor Siemian be healthy enough to go with that left shoulder injury? Freeman knocked down. He'll lose yardage. One of the few plays that didn't work well on the ground for Atlanta. But, you know, you talked at the beginning about, of course, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, but you mentioned the 2 running backs, Freeman and Coleman. And they have done a good job not only on the ground, but catching the football today.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of people were asking me, Atlanta started fast last year. Why is it different this year? When I look at the offensive side of the ball, they're very versatile. They have Julio Jones, but they got a lot of other weapons. You just mentioned the 2 running backs. They were a big part of it today, but a lot of receivers that can be a part of it, the tight ends. And this defense, I don't think will be a great defense all year, but if they can play like this, be good enough, then watch out for these Falcons.
And Matt Ryan much more comfortable with Kyle Shanahan, who's upstairs this time as opposed to down on the sideline like it was last year.
Year 2, I think he figures out, you know, all right, how are we going to be best together? Kyle must see it better up top, and he moved up there.
Running the ball on the clock, and some tough yards for Freeman inside the 30. As the clock continues to run, they'll take it down to the 2-minute warning with the Broncos out of timeouts. They've called a couple during this series to try and keep Atlanta from using it up on 4th down and 1. 2 minutes to go in Denver. It's been that kind of day for the Broncos. The Falcons with a commanding lead.
Game on Fox is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right.
On 4th down and 1, there's Kyle Shanahan figuring, hey, and the numbers, look at the play selection.
Look, you talk about balance. I mean, that's what you can't go back against the Denver Broncos and throw it 50 times because Von Miller, Shane Ray, those guys, Derek Wolfe, they will make your life miserable. Instead, he runs it more than he passes it, and the results have been phenomenal.
Don't want to try a field goal and risk a block or a run back here. So if you get the first down with no timeouts, you can run the clock out, but they won't. The ball was deflected trying to get it to Freeman. And Denver gets the football.
Matt Ryan trying, they call kind of a roll pass, getting the halfback, and Von Miller, such great hand-eye coordination, puts a tip on that ball. A lot of people say, why would you pass it? Well, if you get stopped on a run play, the clock stops anyway.
Possession, right. So it wouldn't have mattered. The idea was get the first down and don't risk anything on a blocked field goal. So another opportunity for Paxton Lynch. Completes to Emmanuel Sanders. The ball come out. Looked like it was juggled. Catch made, and he held on to it. Neal tried to knock it out.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm giving a game ball to everybody on this defense, because undermanned, everybody's talking about the Denver defense, and they have come out. They've been swarming. They've won the line of scrimmage up front. They've been awesome.
Middle of the field again. That's where Lynch has been comfortable throwing the football. Booker takes that up across the 46-yard line. Again, no timeouts, Denver. I know in practice when we were out there, Gary Kubiak made Lynch work on a 25-second clock. And that should help in this situation, but time the enemy.
And it's just, you know, there's so much nuance to the quarterback position. And everybody says, well, Trevor Siemian's in a second year, but he spent a whole year behind Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler and watching those guys work, and the whole time was taking mental reps. This is all brand new. We've talked about the obstacles for Paxton Lynch. Did he play great today? No, but again, I'll tell you, his future is bright. There's no doubt about it.
1:14 to play, down 10. He's got the receivers for a quick strike and the arm, but the pressure gets to him. He's thrown down at the 40. Grady Jarrett, another Atlanta sack.
Well, he's hanging on, waiting for someone to come open. No one ever came open. And Grady Jarrett continues the onslaught on Paxton Lynch.
6 sacks for the Falcons. Booker has it. Gets over on the Atlanta side of the field at the 47 of the Falcons. And on 4th down, you can't spike it here, but you're Lynch, you want to get the first down. Beasley got the jump on the snap. That's completed. And a tough hit out of bounds. Sanders hangs on. There's a flag after the hit.
We chronicled it earlier. That's been his problem. Robert Alford, he does everything well, except this. He gets a lot of penalties. And here you see the hit, but now he's going to play like Beckham and give him a little boot.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, it had to be at that point. You're right. The leg, that's when the flag. See the official right on it. Stops the clock, moves the ball up. And they're going to try a field goal with McManus here.
You need 2 scores, so you might as well get one out of the way and then see if you can connect on the onside kick and take a Hail Mary.
So he's got to make this from 45. That penalty helped the situation. It hit the upright and went through. From 45 yards away. It's up there, it's out there, and it's in there.
Doink.
It counts. 7-point difference. Here comes another onside kick try.
Well, you see McManus, he had a great first attempt. It was called offsides, but he put it up there high. And
next week, the NFL on Fox. Start your Sunday with Fox NFL Kickoff, America's #1 pregame show. Rams and Lions on America's Game of the Week, the Cowboys and Packers, and the Falcons up in Seattle against the Seahawks, and they're going to head to Seattle right after this game, stay out there all week, and prepare for Seattle, which had the weekend off.
You know what? I love this about Dan Quinn. As much as, you know, to lessen the travel, it's about connecting this team. When you're off on the road together, you got to spend time together. You got to eat together. And Dan Quinn, he's trying to forge that connection. He came from Seattle where they had it. He's trying to build that culture in Atlanta, and he's doing a wonderful job of doing so.
They sent flowers to all the wives and family members to hang in there on the road trip. The onside kick snagged right away. And Toilolo, the tight end, Levine Toilolo, grabbed that to secure Atlanta's 4th straight victory.
Moral of the story, don't onside kick to Stanford tight end. The last two, Austin Hooper, now Toilolo.
Well, the Falcons came in highest scoring team in the league. They put 23 on the board, still the most anybody scored against the Broncos this year. And Gary Kubiak, his 9-game winning streak with 4 different quarterbacks, Paxton Lynch, his first start today, comes to an end. And the Broncos, the reigning Super Bowl champs, slipped to 4-1. The Falcons, after beating Carolina and now Denver, knocking off the 2 Super Bowl teams of last year. We'll have more from Denver in just a moment.